Greetings. The inevitable reality, the inevitable reality, or in the Quran as it's referred to as Al-Haqqah. The reality is that we are all going to be called into account, and that there are ramifications to the actions that we have in this life, this temporal reality that we're existing in at this point. This is what all of the prophets, all of the true prophets, when we access their original teachings, there was this understanding that we're not just here for no reason. We were placed on this earth, the human race, for a purpose. Within that purpose of being caretakers of the earth and being representatives, divine representatives on earth, within that means we're not here for a reason. That is to just do what we like, when we like, how we like, and just follow our desires. We're given guidance to understand how to place our inner affairs in order. We're given guidance as to how we can not be overtaken by the lower whispers, the lower callings that may only have to do with flesh or lust or greed, whether it's money or sex or food or land or power. Some power is good. Some food is good. Some sex is good. Some focus on the flesh is good. We have to care for our bodies. We're given desires for a reason. We're given hungers for a reason. So it's not that these are bad things, no. In fact, all of these things can be turned into worship. They can be turned into something higher if we place the right intention. Then we can take the mundane things and they can be lifted up to something that aligns us and brings us into divine presence. And I'll say Allah, into the presence of Allah. Just sitting down in front of your food and acknowledging that it took many, many hands to bring that food to you, or that piece of fruit. To acknowledge that it was Allah who brought the rain. It was Allah who gave us the sun to serve us. That Allah placed everything in a certain order, and the magnitude of all that was a part of just, again, that one piece of fruit. How important is that acknowledgement? And when we acknowledge that and we show gratitude, and we are in full presence even before a meal, without the phone next to us, without being distracted by other things of entertainment, it can be like coming home to yourself. It becomes an act of worship. Ultimately, we were created, we were put on this earth to worship, aka to align with the divine, to align with God, to do that which is pleasing to God, that which is beloved to the One, to the Most High, to Allah. Why? Not because Allah has an ego, not because He needs us to listen, to really listen, not because He needs us to seek guidance, not because He needs us to follow the revelation that He has given us. That's not why. It's because it fulfills our purpose, and it is the way and the means to our wholeness and our contentment and our true peace. The world as it is the greatest evidence that all of the wealth and all of the enjoyment and all of the pleasure and all of the parties and all of the dance and all of the diversions and the entertainment, they can give a temporary pleasure, a temporary sweetness, but if it's not fulfilling the purpose of why we are here, then at a certain point, you're going to feel empty again. It's natural, or maybe it's unnatural, but I'll say it's natural to develop philosophies based on what you have. You can only work with what you have. You can only work with what you have. So if you don't have a full awareness of the names and qualities and attributes and the words and the prayer and the way to ask for guidance, if you don't have that, you can't work with it. If no one told you that was a possibility, then you're not going to go that way because you weren't aware that was even a possibility. No one can tell another how to live their life. This life has been given to us for a purpose, but also with that purpose is free will. So you have the free will to do what you like, when you like, how you like. But with every choice, there are consequences. With every choice, there is a chain reaction. And I don't say that in an ominous way. I say that just it's a reality. You make a choice, you feel the effects of that choice. Sometimes the effects are deep and lasting. Sometimes you can shake them off. But there is an effect. So for those who have chosen higher in various ways, there are some, for example, in our communities that they may have drank one time in their life, excessively even, and then they decide, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. When they drank a lot or took certain drugs, there were consequences. They know you know the consequences if that was your case. You know what you went through. You know what you did. You know how being in an inebriated state and then going certain paths in that inebriated state led you to certain end results. You know that. And you know that when you decided to let go of that and to stop doing that, how you also ended up erasing and stopping the potentiality of going that way again, to that which was not benefiting your mind, your body, your soul. And this goes in every arena, for those who pray, for those who meditate. I put those in different categories because there's some prayer where you're very directly asking, and there's some just sitting and being with the self, which for me, I believe is one of the best gateways to asking and praying, in the way of supplicating. Supplication is when you are asking, while prayer can be in many different forms. So many people are talking like they're experts of humanity. But the greatest expert of humanity is the one that brought humanity into existence. So it behooves us, it would make sense that we would consult that one, and that we would be 100% sure that the one that brought humanity into existence did not leave some guidance for us, did not leave some type of manual to help us out. Because it's obvious that we need help. It's quite apparent we need some help. We need some guidance. There's no question about that. Again, look around you. Look within you. Now, for some people, I don't know if saying that, God is everything, everything is God, and stopping with that, and then, sitting with their self, if that's giving them all the answers they need. I don't know. I don't really think so. Why? Based on the responses that I get from acquaintances and friends and people that I've spoken to when they're confused about a matter or they're not sure about something, and when I may share with them a certain prayer and how to ask for guidance and move forward, every person has given an exceptionally positive response and thanked me, even though it's not because of me, but just saying I was the vehicle through which that information reached them, or that type of way of asking for guidance and prayer reached them. And they're thankful because they didn't have it before. They didn't have that particular tool before. So, once again, I'm very clear that part of my purpose, my specific purpose, is to share some of the beautiful, beneficial, uplifting, purifying teachings that are in the Quran and that are in the life of and the statements of and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him, who did not come with something new. And he said that. And I had a sister over here the other night, and I was saying to her, that is what I love. That's undeniably beautiful about Islam, meaning this way of life that's surrendering to divine guidance, is that the Quran talks about the books that came before. Prophet Muhammad talked about the prophets that came before. Most people don't know that every single Muslim in this world, like people are talking about Christ consciousness, every single Muslim in this world believes that Jesus was a miracle. Every Muslim believes that someone was crucified, but that it wasn't him. That he was taken up to God. That his first miracle, I didn't say that, was that he spoke in the cradle as a baby to defend his mother, and that he's coming back on earth again. Every Muslim believes in the second coming. You're not a Muslim if you don't believe that. And this is unanimous. This is not some fringe, let's mix it all up and kumbaya opinion. This is over 1.5 billion people in this world who will say yes, especially if they're learned on some level. Of course, you have people who are Muslim because their family is, or they're in a village somewhere in a country that happens to be Muslim. But saying from those who have any basic primary understanding of Islam, they all will agree to what I'm saying. So it's not something that actually is isolating. You know what has isolated people from this beauty? Media, propaganda, those who create wars for profit, those who have been lying to us for a really long time, for those who are aware. There is no way of life that has been more under attack than Islam. Those who reflect will think about that. Those who reflect will say, that is interesting that the people who are lying to me the most and are constantly telling me to go in a direction that is harmful to myself and that benefits them also happen to dislike Islam. Wonder why that is. Could it be because it's the opposite actually? Could it be that there's something in it that is so beautiful and is so beneficial and freeing and purifying that we don't want the people to know it? Maybe that's why after September 11th, more people became Muslim or accepted Islam, this way of life, than ever before. Like literally after September 11th. Why? Because it was so crazy and horrible that people were like, we need to understand this religion. If these people are terrorists, we need to learn more about this. And in doing that, they became more exposed to the undeniable beauty. My biggest challenge has been there is so much to share that sometimes I don't know where to begin. And there's a part of me that feels like it needs to be done in a pretty systematic way, like in an organized way. And I'm setting intention. I am setting intention. And I know the power, even in this video, which I can tell my mouth is not matched up with my words. And I don't know if it's because I have to delete some stuff off of this phone, so it's slowing down. But the point is not the visuals, it's just not the visuals. That's not the point of this. That's one reason why I don't like videos so much, because it does capture attention, but people, a lot of times, any of you who know me, I really don't care. Like, I'll be doing something, I'll be like, I have something to share, and I just throw on a scarf, tie my little underpiece on, throw my scarf on, and sometimes looking rough, and it's okay. I know how to not look rough when I need to not look rough. But it's about the message. It's not about if Hasna looks cute or not. It's about the message. And I just feel strongly that setting the intention and making that intention, even having a witness, is very powerful for me in my life. I know everyone works differently with that, but for me, it is powerful. And so I do see videos. I do see discussions. I do see retreats. I do see gatherings in my home. I do see travel, and all centered around the high vibrational Islam as I know it to be. I see that the Quranic guidance, which affirms what Jesus taught, and peace and blessings be upon him, and Moses and Abraham and many, many prophets all throughout history, thousands of prophets. Some of them, again, we don't know their names. I'll say Akhenaton, I'll mention him. I believe, even if I can't say specifically a prophet, if I don't know for sure, but people I believe to be prophets. And if not, teachers who all were teaching the oneness of God, that God is one, and that God has given us purpose, and God has given us guidance directly that we can ask, and also that it has been, you could say in some sense, codified. It is evident that truth is mixed with falsehood. So it's true. There are people who have taken religion or taken divine guidance and manipulated it in such a manner that it was ugly. And they took their own human desires and lowly ways and merged that with teachings in such a manner that has caused havoc in this world. But we can't deny that war has happened in the absence of that. War has happened in the absence of religion or organized religion, because everything, there's so many different religions. If someone identifies as being a witch, they're religious. They have their own religion. But we're talking about organized religion. But under communism, how many people were killed? We know multitudes and multitudes. I don't know if we can say millions. I'd have to check the numbers again. But so many people were slaughtered under communism. So people have been slaughtered in the name of God. People have been slaughtered in the name of money. People have been slaughtered in the name of communism. But the common denominator is human beings' greed and lack of compassion and lack of divine guidance. So this is what I have to say today. And this was not the direction that I thought it was going in. I suppose sometimes I just have to open up the camera and talk. And we're blessed. We are blessed because at this point we do have life and we do have breath. But the way the world is going, some of us are blessed. We're in these little, nooks and crannies of the world, and, we're able to feel that we're in relative peace. But we're not a true nation, and in the case of Muslims, a true ummah, if we can be in complete comfort while others are suffering. Sometimes I feel like, there's definitely there's truth in laws, different universal laws, and, focusing on what's positive and all of that. But the dark side of that is there's an ignoring of our responsibility to, at the very least, pray for people who are suffering. It's almost like our comfort and ease, we think we've earned it when we didn't do anything. It's a blessing that we were even given the luxury of a certain kind of mindset that could lead us to developing that mindset further, to then make certain choices and have the ability to be in a state of relative comfort and peace. I don't believe in this, I deserve this. I deserve. So what about the other people? What about the children who are being raped and, by pedophiles and by, what about that? What about people walking for miles to get water in the hot sun? No one is deserving things happen. There's free will, things happen. Some people are being tested in certain ways that others are not, and I know it's going to all balance out in the final analysis. Meaning, in the next realm. And some of you may not yet be convinced of that next realm, and that's okay. Ask for guidance. Source, creator, one who made all of this, Allah. If you're not sure about Allah yet, try the name. If there's another life after this, if I'm going to be held accountable for the way I live in this life, if there's knowledge that I need that I don't know, guide me to it. You just can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong. If the creator, if Allah hears you, you're going to get answers and you're going to feel a difference. And if the creator doesn't hear you, because it's all one and the same and everything, then you're also good, right? As for me, I'm convinced. And I don't feel like there's so much time to like waste in what is ambiguous when we have too much that is very clear. So I pray that those who are meant to hear and those who would benefit from this video and those who are touched and those who are seeking and that those who desire more, that they reach out. They may comment, which is all fine and dandy, and that's good. But they can also reach out directly. And if you happen to also be in the same location as I am, it's even more beautiful. Let's get together. Let's grow together. Let's seek guidance together. Let's delve into some of these beautiful teachings, because honestly, there's very few people in, I would say, the spiritual circles that are specifically sharing from these potent, beautiful places that I have found within Islam. And you don't have to be a Muslim. You don't have to cover up like me. You know what I mean? You don't got to wear hijab to benefit. You don't have to, because it's beyond that. All right? So lots of love to all of you. And even in the imperfection of how I present, I know that even if it's one person, the right alignments will come. Inshallah, God willing, the divine alignments.